today I'll be talking to you about the Battle of the Alamo, and that's a picture. I know, sorry, it's really like pixely and small, but that's a picture of my family and I at the Alamo a long time ago. So, Texans have instilled in their system a mindset of no retreat and no surrender. I wish everyone the world over had the dominating spirit that motivates Texans. That was a quote from an ex-senator from Texas, Billy Clayton. Texans are notorious for being proud of their home state, and I'm proud to include myself in that category. Now, what I'm going to tell you, I'll give you a brief history of the Alamo, then I'll explain how it kind of relates to Texas culture, and then I'll dive deeper into the culture and explain how I relate to it. So, in 1836, the area that is now Texas belonged to Mexico. However, the Texans wanted their independence, and they were in the middle of a revolution. And so on March 6, 1836, the Mexican army had advanced into Texas and pinned over 200 Texans inside the Alamo. The battle took place on March 6th, and it resulted in all 200 Texans dying in what was a victory for the Mexican army. However, historians say this was a turning point in the war, but not for the Mexicans, for the Texans, because just over a month later, Texas won the revolution and became the Republic of Texas. Although it was technically a loss and it resulted in over 200 deaths, historians do say that it is the turning point in the war. After word spread, outrage also spread, and Texans lined up, hundreds of thousands of them, to join the army, and the newly acquired patriotism rallied Texas to a victory just over a month later. So my family's taken several trips to the Alamo. Every time we visit Texas, it seems we go there. I have family who lives in San Antonio. There have been several books and songs and movies written about the Battle of the Alamo, depicting the bravery and the pride showed by the soldiers. And when you think of the Alamo, the first words that come to mind are those words of pride and perseverance and bravery and those kind of words. And if I had to pick something from my culture that had to describe who I was today, that would be it. Now to me. I was born in Arlington, Texas, 19 years ago, and I could not be more proud. Modern-day Texans are very unique. However, before I dive into the culture, we have to strike down some stereotypes first. One is that Texans ride horses to work every day. I'm not really sure where that started, but that's not true. Not everybody in Texas are cowboys. Actually, a majority of them aren't. So remember that. And also, people think that Texas is really country and rural. It's actually really urban. It's more urban than Virginia. It has 4 of the top 11 most populated cities in America, which is more than any other state. And those cities are Dallas, San Antonio, Houston, and Austin. And so Texans are very proud of their home state. Their pride is unmatched by anything I've ever known. They consider themselves Texans first and Americans second. And it's not uncommon for them to be overseas and answer the question like, oh, where are you from? With Texas rather than America. And this is evident if you ever get the chance to drive through a suburb around Texas, around a city. It seems like every house or every other house has a Texas flag hanging in the front yard. And I can include myself in that. Ever since I was born, my dad put up a huge Texas flag right above my crib. And the same flag is still in my bedroom back home in Chesterfield. And I don't know about you guys, or I don't know where you all are from, but where I'm from, down in Chesterfield, Virginia, I don't think I've ever seen someone flying a Virginia state flag outside in their front yard. So to, I guess, put that in perspective. Not to say that we aren't proud, but I guess Texans are very proud. Texans are very friendly and hospitable. You can find yourself talking to a complete stranger for hours and hours, just like the two of you have been best friends. They love loud music and dancing, and they aren't afraid to have a good time. And me too. And, so I'd like to think that I brought some little quirky things from Texas here with me. I say y'all instead of you guys. I dip my pizza in ranch dressing, and I say Coke instead of soda for everything. Coke is everything. So if my mom calls and says, if she's at the grocery store and she asks if I want any Coke, all bets are off. I have no idea what she's bringing home, but it's some kind of soda. So I still say that. And those are some of the noticeable things you might see in me that reminds me of Texas, but some of the things you may not notice are the pride and perseverance that I mentioned. The pride, whether it's being proud of my parents for doing so well in their jobs and providing for my brother and I, or it's proud of my brother for how he does in school, or even proud of me. I seem to have a lot of pride, and I'm very happy with how I grew up and who I grew up with. And my perseverance also, whether it was getting through a family hardship or a personal hardship, or getting into the school I wanted to, or taking the harder classes in high school, harder than I had to take. I like to think that I persevered. So, let's see. If I had to describe Texans in one sentence, it would be hard, but I'd have to say that they're proud of their home state, and that certainly couldn't have been done without the Battle of the Alamo. Remember the Alamo became the battle cry for the rest of the Revolution, and it is still said today. The Alamo perfectly describes and showcases the pride and perseverance and bravery that comes with all Texans, and I'm proud to include myself in that category.